chosen one, stop right there. Do not scroll past this video. If you are hearing this voice right now, it is not because of an algorithm. It is because your spirit has been sensing a shift in the atmosphere all day, maybe even all week. You have felt it, haven't you? A pressure behind your eyes that sleep cannot fix. A restlessness in your stomach that feels like butterflies, but heavier. A sudden feeling that you are waiting for something massive to arrive, but the silence around you is deafening. Listen to me closely. That is not anxiety. That is not stress. That is not depression. That is the spiritual signal that your incubation period is officially over. God has orchestrated this exact moment. The prophet Isaiah saw this when he wrote in chapter 43 verse 19, "Behold, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs forth. Do you not perceive it?" You are perceiving it right now. The heavens have paused to deliver a mandate that concerns your very identity. Tonight, the waiting room is locked behind you. Tonight, you are not just hearing a message, you are undergoing a metamorphosis. What you are about to become by the end of this video is something the enemy has been terrified of since the day you were born. You have been sitting in your car staring at the steering wheel, wondering why you feel so disconnected from the world. You have been lying in bed at 3 a.m. asking God why He is so silent. You feel like you are in a hallway between two doors. The door behind you is closed, but the door in front of you has not opened yet, and the air in this hallway is thin. This is what we call liminal anxiety. It is the tension of the transition. It is the shaking of the cocoon right before it breaks. Most people mistake this feeling for a breakdown, but I am telling you tonight, it is a breakthrough. Your spirit knows what your mind does not yet understand. You are not falling apart, you are hatching. But listen to me, because this is where most chosen ones fail. If you click away now, you might miss the instructions for the new season. Stay with me until the very last second of this video, because tonight we are unlocking the Joseph metamorphosis. I am going to reveal the 3 specific signs that prove your shift has started. I will hand you the 5 forms of confrontation the enemy will use to try and stop you in the next 40 days. And at the very end, we will seal this new identity with a powerful activation ceremony that will mark you in the spirit. Do not leave your seat until the seal is set. This is your moment. Now let us go deeper. You think you are waiting for a blessing. You think you are waiting for the money to hit your account, or for that specific person to text you back, or for the job offer to come through. But that is the deception. That is the surface level. God is not interested in giving you a resource tonight. He is interested in changing your frequency. Because if He gives you the palace while you still have the mindset of a prisoner, you will turn the palace into a prison. Think about Joseph in the book of Genesis. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and thrown into a dungeon for years. He was forgotten, just like you feel forgotten, just like you feel invisible. But look at Genesis chapter 41 verse 14. The scripture says, "Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved himself, and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh." Most people read right past that. They rush to the part where he interprets the dream and becomes the ruler of Egypt. But stop. Rewind. Look at the sequence. Joseph shaved and changed his clothes before he stood in front of the king. He did not go to Pharaoh looking like a prisoner. He did not wait for Pharaoh to give him a new title before he fixed his appearance. He shifted his identity in the dungeon before he ever stepped onto the throne. This is the key you have been missing. Joseph knew that you cannot carry a king's authority while wearing a victim's clothes. He had to become the ruler internally before the world acknowledged him externally. And that is exactly what is happening to you tonight. You have been praying for the external change, but God has been waiting for the internal shift. He has been waiting for you to shave off the victim mentality. Right now, I want you to do something with me. You do not need to move your hands. You do not need to close your eyes if you are driving. Just use your imagination. Picture yourself standing in that hallway we talked about earlier. You are wearing old, heavy clothes. These clothes represent every disappointment, every betrayal, every night you cried yourself to sleep. Now, in your mind, simply decide to take them off. Let them drop to the floor. Feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. Feel the cool air on your skin. You are standing there stripped of the past. Now, imagine a new garment being placed on you. It feels light. It feels like royal linen. It feels like authority. This is not just a visualization. This is a prophetic act. You are doing what Joseph did. You are changing your raiment before you meet your destiny. The version of you that went into the fire is not the same version that is coming out. The fire did not burn you. It burned off the ropes that held you bound. You are not a survivor. You are a ruler in training. But there is a specific sign that this change has actually started. It is a sign that terrifies most people when it happens. It usually starts with a sudden painful silence between you and the people you love the most. If you have felt this disconnection recently, if you have felt like you are speaking a different language than your family or friends, pay close attention. Because if you misinterpret this sign, you will try to fix what God is trying to sever. That disconnection you are feeling is not an accident. It is the first layer of the Joseph metamorphosis. There are 3 specific signs of this shift. These are not random symptoms. They are the biological markers of a spiritual upgrade. The first sign is the sudden disconnect. You are sitting at a dinner table with family or friends, people you have known for 10 years, you love them. But suddenly, you feel like you are watching them from behind a glass wall. You hear their conversations about drama, about the same old problems they have complained about for a decade, and you feel physically unable to engage. The Bible explains this in 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The word used there for new is kainos. It does not mean new in terms of time. It means new in kind, a completely different species. Something that has never existed before. When you enter the Joseph metamorphosis, God does not just upgrade you. He rewires your entire DNA. You become kainos, and a lion cannot socialize with sheep, not because the lion is arrogant, but because the lion has a different diet. You are feeling disconnected because your spirit is starving for meat, while the people around you are content with grass. Do not try to force a connection that God is trying to sever. Joseph had to leave the other prisoners behind to stand before Pharaoh. The second sign is what I call holy agitation. This is an active intolerance for things that used to satisfy you. You used to be able to binge watch that show. Now it annoys you. You used to be satisfied with a normal routine. Now there is a burning frustration in your chest, a feeling that you are wasting time even when you are busy. This agitation is not a sign that you are ungrateful. It is a sign that your container is too small for what God is pouring into you. Think about a crab. When a crab grows, it has to shed its shell because the old shell becomes tight and painful. The pain is not an attack. The pain is the proof of growth. If you are feeling agitated tonight, if you are feeling cramped in your current life, rejoice. It means you have outgrown the season. You are ready to molt. The third sign is the zero tolerance protocol. Just like Joseph stood before Pharaoh and did not apologize for his gift, you are entering a season where you can no longer apologize for who you are. In the past, when people disrespected you, you swallowed it to keep the peace. But suddenly, something has snapped. You find that you physically cannot tolerate disrespect anymore. Solomon understood this when he wrote in the book of Proverbs. chapter 4, verse 23. Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. You are carrying the solution to a famine. You are carrying the wisdom of God, and you realize that if you allow people to treat you like a prisoner, you will never be able to feed them like a king. So you start saying no. You start walking away. You start closing doors that you used to fight to keep open. This is not pride. It is the protective instinct of a ruler who knows they have a kingdom to build. Let me tell you about a chosen one who paid this price just 6 months ago. Let us call him Michael. Michael was stuck in the loop of being the nice guy. He was the one everyone called when they needed money, when they needed a ride, or when they just needed to dump their emotional garbage. He was exhausted. After hearing about the zero-tolerance protocol, Michael took a physical action that felt like cutting off his own arm. It was a Tuesday night. He sat on the edge of his bed. He opened his contacts list. He scrolled down to the 3 names that popped up the most. The childhood friend who only mocked his dreams. The business partner who was secretly stealing his ideas. The family member who used guilt to manipulate him. His thumb hovered over the block button. His hand was literally shaking. The enemy was whispering, "If you do this, you will have nobody. You will be completely alone." But Michael remembered Joseph. He remembered that Joseph could not bring his brothers into the palace until he had established his authority. So Michael pressed the button. Block, block. For the next 3 weeks, nothing magical happened. In fact, it got worse. He felt the crushing weight of isolation. He thought he had made a mistake, but then came day 40. Michael went to a coffee shop just to be around people. He was sitting there with his notebook, sketching out the business plan he had ignored for years. A stranger walked up to his table. This stranger pointed at the notebook and asked a specific question. That stranger turned out to be an investor who had been looking for that exact concept for 2 years. 6 months later, Michael is not only fully funded, but he is surrounded by a table of lions. He realized that the space he created by cutting off the parasites was the exact space God needed to seat the partners. If he had not endured that season of silence, he would have never heard the voice of his destiny. I am telling you this because I know what is happening in your chest right now. Part of you is excited, but there is a darker shadow part of you that is terrified. You are afraid that if you step into this new authority, you will lose the people you love. You are afraid that if you enforce boundaries, you will end up alone. But here is the truth that you must accept. Loneliness and solitude are not the same thing. Loneliness is the absence of people who understand you. Solitude is the presence of God who is preparing you. Joseph spent years in that dungeon alone, but he was never lonely, because in the silence, he was being shaped. Every betrayal was stripping off a layer of codependency. Every disappointment was teaching him to stop looking to humans for validation. The solitude was not punishment, it was preparation. And when the moment came, when Pharaoh called, Joseph did not need anyone's permission to walk in authority. He had already been crowned in the dark. You are in that season right now. The isolation you are feeling is not rejection. It is selection. God is clearing your atmosphere of everyone who would dilute your frequency. He is removing the people who cannot handle the voltage of where you are going. You must understand that you have shifted from being a thermometer to being a thermostat. A thermometer reflects the temperature of the room. A thermostat sets it. For most of your life, you have been a thermometer. You walked into a room and absorbed the energy. If people were stressed, you became stressed. If they were negative, you became negative. But something changed. Now, when you walk into chaos, you do not panic. You feel an authority rising up in you that says, "Peace, be still," and the room shifts. This is what it means to be an atmosphere shifter. But the moment you start setting the temperature, instead of reflecting it, you become a threat. You might have noticed that since you started awakening, Hostility has come from unexpected places. People who used to ignore you are suddenly irritated by you. Look at the book of Acts, chapter 19, verse 15. The evil spirit answered and said, "Jesus I know, and Paul I know, but who are you?" This is a profound revelation. Spirits have a watch list. They know who carries authority and who is just pretending. The fact that the atmosphere is resisting you is the greatest compliment you could receive. It means the demons have checked your ID and they saw the name of a king. They are not attacking you because you are weak. They are attacking you because you have been identified as a high-value target. The intensity of the opposition is proof of the magnitude of your assignment. So when the atmosphere pushes back, do not crumble. Stand tall and realize that your light is burning so bright it is irritating the demons that have been hiding in the dark. However, knowing this is not enough. The enemy knows you have changed even before your bank account knows. He has seen the shift in the spirit because he knows he cannot stop you. He is going to try to distract you. He has prepared a specific script of 5 forms of confrontation designed to take you out in the next 40 days. These are not random attacks, they are calculated strategies. You need to see this script before it plays out so you can be ready to flip the table. The first trap is the financial counterfeit. Within days of you accepting your new identity, an opportunity will likely present itself. It will look like the answer to your prayers. It will be a quick way to make money or a job offer that pays more than you have ever made. But listen to your spirit. There will be a check in your gut. There will be a subtle compromise attached to it. Maybe it requires you to be dishonest. Maybe it connects you with people who have a dark energy. This is what I call the Ishmael blessing. It looks like the promise, but it is birthed out of impatience, not alignment. If you take the bait, you give the enemy legal access to your future. The counter strategy here is simple. Remember that you are a king. A king does not eat from the trash just because he is hungry. If you have to compromise your peace to get the pay, it is not a blessing. It is a trap. The second trap is the Lazarus relationship. Suddenly, out of nowhere, people from your past will start reaching out. An ex who broke your heart 3 years ago will text you at midnight. They will say they miss you. They will say they have changed. Do not be deceived. They do not miss you. They miss the access they had to your light. They sense in the spirit that you have leveled up and they want to reattach themselves to you before you get too far out of reach. If you engage, you are reopening a door that God shut. The counter mindset is this. You are a new creation. The version of you that they are looking for no longer exists. Do not resurrect what God has buried. The third trap is the voice of the imposter. This attack happens entirely in your mind. You will wake up one morning feeling completely unqualified. A heavy cloud will settle over you, whispering, "Who do you think you are? You are a fraud. You are making this all up. God did not speak to you." This is the direct attack on your identity. When this happens, do not argue with the voice. You cannot out-reason a demon. Instead, rely on the verdict. You say, "My feelings are irrelevant. The court of heaven has ruled. I am who God says I am." The fourth trap is the premature celebration. You will get a small win, a little breakthrough, and the enemy will tempt you to take your armor off. He wants you to get comfortable. He wants you to think the war is over when a battle has just been won. Many chosen ones lose their destiny because they settle for the appetizer and stop pressing for the main course. Stay vigilant, celebrate the win, but keep your sword in your hand. Your motto must be, "I am grateful, but I am not finished." The fifth trap is identity amnesia. This happens when a crisis hits. Maybe your car breaks down. Maybe you get a scary health report. In that moment of panic, the enemy wants you to forget everything we have discussed tonight. He wants you to revert to your default setting of fear and victimhood. He is applying pressure to see what comes out of you. If fear comes out, He knows he still has a hook in you. If power comes out, he knows he has lost you. So, in the next 40 days when something goes wrong, do not react immediately. Pause. Take a breath. Remember who you are. Ask yourself, how would the unrecognizable authority handle this? Would a king panic over a flat tire? Now, I know that in the heat of the moment when the pressure is real, it is hard to remember all of this. You need something to anchor you. I am giving you a 3-minute protocol called the Morning Seal. You must do this every single day before you engage with the world. When you wake up, do not touch your phone. Do not check the news. Do not let the world download its chaos into you before you have downloaded heaven. Instead, sit on the edge of your bed. Place your feet flat on the floor and speak the eulogy over yourself. You say out loud, I am who God says I am. I am an atmosphere shifter. I am a ruler in training. Today, I do not react to the waves. I command the wind. It takes 3 minutes. But this simple act sets your spiritual thermostat for the next 24 hours. It reminds your spirit who is in charge before the enemy gets a chance to speak. Paul declared this over the Roman Church in chapter 12, verse 2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. This is your daily renewal, and as you do this, you are preparing for the greatest shift of all, the vindicated victor. David wrote about this in Psalm 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. God does not just feed you, he sets a table. He makes it a banquet, and he does not remove your enemies. He forces them to watch. The very people who laughed at your construction are going to have to watch your coronation. The family members who treated you like a black sheep, the bosses who overlooked you, the friends who betrayed you, they are all going to be sitting in the audience while God serves you the main course. They cannot touch you. They can only watch. You are not just going to survive. You are going to be publicly honored in the exact places where you were privately shamed. Now, I need you to get ready. We have arrived at the moment of activation. We are going to seal every framework, every revelation, and every decree we have spoken in this video. This is not a passive prayer. This is a coronation ceremony. If you can, I want you to stand up physically. If you cannot stand, then sit up straight. Pull your shoulders back. Lift your chin. Put your hand over your heart. We are going to lock this in. In the mighty name of Jesus, I declare that the atmosphere in this room is now open. I decree that the portal of heaven is active over you right now. Father, I present to you this chosen one. You have seen their tears in the dungeon. You have seen the years of betrayal, the nights of confusion, and the pain of the process. But tonight, we declare that the incubation is over. We acknowledge that the crushing was not to destroy them, but to create the oil that is now flowing over their life. I seal the Joseph metamorphosis over your spirit. I declare that the victim mentality is stripped off you right now like a filthy garment. I clothe you in the royal robes of your true identity. You are no longer a prisoner of your past. You are the architect of your future. I seal the atmosphere shifter protocol into your hands and feet. I decree that from this moment forward, you will no longer be a thermometer that reacts to the room. You are the thermostat that sets the temperature. When you walk into chaos, order will manifest. When you walk into darkness, light will dominate. I bind the spirit of the imposter that whispers you are not enough. I bind the spirit of the financial counterfeit that tries to buy your birthright. I silence them now by the blood of the Lamb. They have no jurisdiction in your court. I declare over you the eulogy of the Most High. You are blessed in the city and blessed in the field. You are the head and not the tail. I decree that within the next 7 days, you will see a physical manifestation of this shift. You will see a door open that no man can shut. You will see the table prepared in the presence of your enemies. Chosen one, I have a question for you. Do you accept this mantle? Do you accept the weight of this glory? Do not just think it. Open your mouth and say yes. Say it again. Yes, heaven has heard your answer. The transaction is complete. The file is installed. You are no longer who you were 10 minutes ago. Do not go back to the dungeon. Do not apologize for your crown. Walk as a king. You are dismissed.